Yo, what is going on, growmies? Hope y'all are doing well, growing well. Now, growmies, welcome back to the Raw Uncut series, where we show literally every single step on camera, from the very start to the very end. Now, looking back at this footage, basically we just have a whole bunch of water compilations. I did do a voiceover talking, but I decided it'd be better. I want to do this one a little bit differently. As we can see, the biggest problem with this grow has been the insane otherworldly heat and drought. In total, I gave these plants a decent amount of water since everything was bone dry, meaning that I had to resaturate each pot. And a few days later, 4 days later, it was our time to water again, and we also came to the same problem of taking 4 days to water, which is just not good for the plants at all. They get super dry, super unhappy. So the next day I was like, dude, you gotta stay on top of watering, like every single day. Come in here, make sure these plants don't dry out because they need water daily. And I don't even know how they survived like multiple days of drought. I know this. Okay, watching this compilation, I already know people are gonna be like, oh my god, this is so much water. But you gotta remember, this is over like multiple days, and we have a lot of plants in there and a lot of gallons in there. So we gotta fill up those gallons. Also, at this point, looking at our watermelon emoji, we can see, dude, the new growth is coming through pretty good, meaning that we got to get rid of this ugly growth so it doesn't hide the new growth below. But yeah, overall, really happy with this watermelon emoji. I have a lot of hope for this plant. I think she's going to turn out quite exquisite. Now, to train these plants, basically all I've been doing is just pushing them down and giving them a little bit of a squish. What this little squish does is it spreads out the plant, keeps the top branches from growing straight up, and just gives it a more of an even canopy. That way all those lower branch sites have a chance to grow up and out, making more of a ball-shaped canopy and a little bit more even. As we can see, we end up doing this for other plants as well. And sometimes what I like to do is grab the branch with my hand and my finger and then bend it down and around. That way we shape the plant how we need to shape it and keep it from growing straight up. The goal with this grow is to have as even of a canopy as possible, even with the insane amount of strain variation, which will be quite the challenge. But as long as we stay diligent and constantly work on these plants and stay on top of them literally to where they don't grow straight up, we can definitely achieve having a pretty even canopy amongst all these varieties. So as we can see with this plant, again, this is literally every single step. I'm not skipping any steps on camera at all. That way you guys can literally see everything. So we're just going down, squishing the plant. You can see, dude, that looks a lot better. She's a lot more even, a lot more spread out. But yeah, now anyways, we're moving on to the watermelon emoji. Watermelon emoji, this pheno is damn impressive. A couple weeks ago when I was first getting the sense of this plant, the aromatic experience was an insane watermelon Mexican lollipop candy, no joke. But now that I'm smelling the plant, dude, it's developed into a skunky, dank, crazy, fiery watermelon candy. It's insane, dude. This pheno is going to be extremely impressive, and the aroma in veg is potent to where my nose is getting burnt. Now, sometimes, growmies, if you are a little harsh on the plants, even if you're not harsh, they could just snap. So you got to be as gentle as possible, which is why I like to try to break the outer cell wall very gently and slowly. But sometimes that doesn't always happen. So if you do snap a branch, that's okay. Whatever you do, make sure you don't dirty the plant at the break point. Get a piece of tape, seal it back together real quick, and you'll be on your way, and the plant will grow stronger and grow a little knuckle there. But yeah, anyways, moving on to the purest indica plant, again using the same push down technique. It's basically a low stress training to where you just shape the plant and keep those tall branches from growing straight up and make a nice little even flatter canopy. Now this plant is actually a really good example to where you can see that slight curvature in the branch that allows the top growth to be bent over and expose the lower growth, so that now those parts can grow up. And looking at the whole canopy, dude, she looks damn amazing. Pretty nice and even, especially as we continuously push it down. I'm not sure if there's like a training technique specifically called for this. If not, I just call it the push down technique, to where you literally are pushing the branches down. I feel like it's self-explanatory, you know, you guys could see what's happening. Sometimes it does take a little bit of time and work to where you have to keep encouraging the plant to do that, and you'll notice at least in 12 to 24 hours, she'll bounce right back. But the more you're working inside your tent and pushing the plants down, the more even the canopy will be in the end. And dude, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with this plant. I really like how she's turning out. I'm not sure exactly which pheno this is that we're working on right now. I think it's a watermelon emoji. You kind of could see on the plant tag, but I can't see really right now. Anyways, looking at this plant, since we've been keeping up with the water, dude, the plants look damn healthy, super green, except for a few anomalies here and there from the drought. But overall, they're looking pretty damn healthy. Now, after working those branches and working the whole canopy, we can see it's a lot more even, flat, spread out, and dude, they look damn well. Also, we are growing a purple mindset autoflower in here, which, dude, I'm not gonna lie, this has also been an extremely neglected plant. Probably the most neglection I've ever done. I've been a little upset, Growmies, recently, but we're trying to lock in now. We're locking in. Things are looking way better. But yeah, dude, solid work on the canopy, looking a lot better. Also, Growmies, same day, we're working again on this, I believe that's the Ozy Kush F2 in the back, and just showing again another example of how I work the plants. Moving on to the next day, we could see that they definitely bounce straight up. And again, it's a new day, it's time to water again. Now, I don't know how much more I can reiterate this, besides just telling you guys, like, dude, they are drying out fast. Like, I literally have to water this much or they get upset. I know it might look like an insane amount on the camera, but trust me, it's not even enough. I should be watering at least 4 times more, 5 times more frequent than what I'm doing right now. But yeah, so I find like the sweet spot is anywhere from around 2 to 4 buckets, maybe 3, yeah, 2 to 4, 3, and that's just because that's how much they need. But anyways, coming into the tent a few days later, you know, same problem. We waited for the drought. We could see the growth on the tips are getting burnt. The thing is, even with organic nutrients, there's a lot of salts in there too. And that'll burn the roots as those hot, dry pockets form, causing an extreme root burn and leaf burn and tip burn and everything, all types of burn. So today I decided, you know what, let's just water from the top very slowly all the plants. And watering from the top helps re-moisturize a little bit more evenly all throughout. And then whatever water that does run off, it's no big deal. We can just, the pots will just soak them up from below and evenly moisturize itself. But again, Growmies, this is the Raw Uncut series. Like I said, literally every single step is shown. If you guys are still watching up to this point, be like, hell yeah, I love watching literally every single step. And that's what I'm going to do for the whole series. I know these videos are a bit different than how I normally do my videos, but I wanted to try to do something different and have fun with it. So yeah, so far every single plant's getting water, making sure to give them a splash from the top, a little bit more than a splash, just enough to re-moisturize the whole medium. At this point, we're just doing some little micro work here and there, going through the plant, shaping it again, removing any excessive leaves that we don't need, excess leaves that we don't need. And yeah, just shaping the plants and trying to keep them flat. Like I said before, if you're trying to have an even canopy, you got to work on your plants every single day. You got to spread them out every single day, and you got to shape them every single day. So we're trying to do that as much as we can, and I find just the push down method is the easiest way to get the most even canopy. I gotta say, you do have to be careful because it's very easy to break the branches when you're pushing them down like that. It happens more often than not, especially when the plants are getting really dry. They just snap. Some branches, they get a little soggy, other branches snap. It really just depends all on the pheno, right? Now, at this point, we can see we're doing our classic method of grabbing the tallest branches, bending them over slightly, giving that curvature, and evening out the canopy again. And yeah, dude, I gotta say, these plants at this point, 6 days ago, today's 9/7, they're looking damn good. Like this, everything was going pretty fantastic. I was really proud of myself. This technique we're doing right now in this front plant, if a branch is being a little bit stubborn and it doesn't want to train down or it just keeps snapping, what helps is grabbing that branch at the bend point, a little bit before, a little bit after, and in the middle, of course, and just twisting the branch gently. And what that does is it helps break the wall, soften the wall, and then you can pull the branch down lower more easily. So that works pretty well. And moving on to my favorite plant, the watermelon emoji. Dude, she is gorgeous, Gromies. I'm telling you guys, this clone's gonna be insane. I could just feel it. And honestly, I don't even care if any of the other plants are not good. If this one plant is godly, that's the whole point of this pheno hunt, right? We're looking for one godly plant. If we find a few godly plants, dude, we're lucky as hell. But ideally, we just want one godly plant. And also, we do have those CBD plants, so my goal was to breed with those. But anyways, Gromies, like I said, we're not skipping any steps, so I showed them all on camera. I did a little voiceover to cut down the amount of time, because today we actually have something extremely important to do. And that's going to be the live portion. If you guys made it to the live portion, dude, leave a comment. Like, I need to know how long people are watching the video. Because I'm like, we still got a whole 50 minutes to go. But anyways, Gromies, now we're moving on to the live portion, where we have some serious work to do. And a lot has happened in 5 days. Yo, what is going on, Gromies? Hope y'all are doing well, growing well. Now, Gromies, we have some big decisions to make for this grow. I know this is the raw uncut grow and everything's supposed to be perfect, but guess what? Life's not perfect. It did not turn out perfect at all. Nothing has been good really about this grow at all. But no, that's alright. We're working on it. Anyways, at this point, I'm realizing that when we added the nutrients, we just gave them way too much for these little plants. At this point, I don't see these plants, like, every single one of them has entox. Every single pot is getting dry. This might sound crazy, but I think I'm going to repot them into plastic pots. And from the plastic pot, I'm going to put them in basically just peat moss with a little bit of whatever's here. And that will greatly reduce the amount of nutrients, and then let's just give them like another week or two and see how the plants do. But as of right now, man, there's just way too much nitrogen, way too much nutrients. I put in a lot more than I knew I should have. And I know I shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, you know, I do look at the new growth and it does look healthy. I'm just really not sure if this is all because the pots are just bone dry every single time, dude. I can't keep up with them. But I kind of do just want to put them in plastic and see if that helps. I know they all grow roots, or maybe I just need to lock in water every day. Gromies, this raw uncut series, this is the true mindset. Like, I'm just trying to be as open as possible. There's a lot of variables of what we could do to fix this grow. And, you know, the biggest part, like I already explained this, Gromies, I got super ultra depressed. And I have been for at least a few months now, but it's really been showing with this grow. And, you know, every single day I wake up, I'm like, dude, you're gonna do it. Today's the day. And I just haven't done it. No matter how many times I keep telling myself, like, dude, come on, bro. Like, try harder. And I'm trying, man. It's just, dude, you can't explain depression. Like, you just can't. It's just crazy. But I'm taking the steps, you know. I'm like, all right, maybe it is. I was always the type of guy where, like, I'm not getting a therapist. Fuck that. But you know what, Gromies, I think it's finally got to that point where I'm just like, dude, and you gotta help yourself if you want to help others. And that's the whole point of this channel, is to help others. And right now, I don't think I'm helping anybody with all this all this growing. I don't think I'm helping anyone right now, man. So maybe I'm telling you everything you shouldn't do and showing every single mistake of how you could just ruin a perfect grow that should be going well. But yeah, that's pretty... You know, all the haters, you know what? This is your guys' opportunity. Hate away. But yeah, Gromies. So we've been neglecting the plants. That's why they look like shit. I'm contemplating repotting them into plastic. I ordered some plastic pots. That'll help me with my workflow a lot, and it'll also keep these roots. I think they'll grow a little better, man. I really do. So yeah, we're gonna transplant into peat moss, and it seems like this peat moss did okay. I don't know how these plants are gonna do, honestly. But dude, I think we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna have to try it. This, you know,
I'm just gonna try it. That's all there is to it. So let's try it out. And Gromies, we're just gonna transplant into this basic peat moss. There is nothing in here except for peat moss, and it's made by our trusted brand ProMix, as we all love. So I'm like, dude, you know what? This is what we're using. We're just gonna go with peat moss. And I'm gonna do a mix of the soil. Pretty much, I wanna do like 75% peat moss to really just reduce the amount of nutrients in the mix. There's just too much nutrients in here, man. And I can see them breaking down slowly and they're getting stronger, and that's like not what I need right now. Maybe if these plants, if I grew them from the start exceptionally well, like I would have normally done, they could probably handle this amount of nutrients no problem, but we just gave them way too much. So yeah, I don't know if this is a big mistake. I think it's gonna be okay. And then also, you know, I guarantee there's already 1,000 comments saying, well, why don't you just flush them? Why don't you just flush all the nutrients out? I'm like, dude, okay. In organic soil, when you put organic feed into the pot and you water it, what happens? It breaks down. So if I go in here and I water a whole bunch, it's gonna break down and make the problem even worse. Trust me, I've done it before on one of my grows. I did it on my first photo grow ever, so that's some experience. If you feed too much with synthetics, yeah, wash the salts out. If you feed too much with organic, you gotta scoop the top out, you gotta transplant, you gotta do something else. Because if you water them, you're gonna break down the nutrients even more. And sure, you could just run hundreds of gallons of water through, theoretically, but you're just wasting all your money, and I don't wanna waste these nutrients in all these pots. There's a lot of nutrients in here that I could grow good plants with. So I'm gonna save the soil, and I'm gonna transplant into a lighter mix. And we'll see how it goes. And I won't have to water as much with the plastic pots, so that'll help me out with the workflow of this tent. But yeah, let's see if we can really make this tent come around in the next month. Not even, I'd say 2 weeks, and maybe flip in 2 weeks if they're all looking positive. I know that's might be a bit ambitious with the current state of the tent, but dude, you only know if you're gonna try, so we gotta try, and that's what we're gonna do right now. And also, I'm not sure if you guys can see this. I'm sorry if the fan, let me move the fan. Also, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but I'm pretty sure it's a male. This purple light set, not purple mindset, purple light set. Especially right there, you can kind of see, looks like a nut sack. But we'll let her sack it out a little bit more. And then, you know, I gotta go back in the video and see how much nutrients I added to this peat moss, because it seems like this plant, look at, dude, that's some heavy N-tox right there. And that's just gonna keep occurring across all the plants, so I gotta dilute it big time. Alright, Gromies, now the way we're gonna do this, man, I don't know what the best way is except just going for it. So first plant up, let's take this watermelon emoji right here, okay? Now we're gonna take her, we're gonna move her to this bucket. Now inside this bucket is where we're gonna do a transplant from the fabric to the plastic. So I got my plastic pots right here. Here's all my plastic pots. Got them cheap. And we're gonna test her out and see how it goes. So, first plant, this one I believe is the watermelon emoji. The tag is somewhere in here. Now let's see, the best way to do this, man, I don't even know. There is, yeah. Okay, the best way to do it, I think, is to scrunch it up like that. So we're gonna scrunch it up. Now this might be really disastrous, Gromies. I have no idea what to expect. But there's just way too much soil in this, so. Dude, if this goes down as the worst YouTube series ever, I'm sorry, Gromies, but we're just going for it, man. Like, I don't know, every grow's an experiment. I didn't choose to do the fail-proof method for this at all, which is what I probably should have done. But we're just going for it. We're gonna test out something. We're gonna do a little bit of experimentation. Now, I know so many people might be like, oh my gosh, this is the most cringe thing I've ever seen. Like, I can't believe I'm witnessing this. Oh my God. Dude, trust me, if you don't make mistakes, you're never gonna learn. If you're too afraid to make mistakes, then you're never gonna learn either. So, just go for it. And we can see, we got a nice little root ball right here. Nice little root ball. So I'm gonna keep that root ball. And let's see, how does she fit in here? I mean, ooh, she is a little big. Oh shit, hold on. Don't want to break that up too much. Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. Hold on. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a bucket of water. Then I'm gonna take my plant. I'm just gonna dip it in here. And this will help remove the extra soil on the side, like that. And it'll expose the roots. And yeah, that pretty much exposes all the roots. Dude, I don't know if this is bad. I don't know if I'm gonna kill all my plants. We'll fucking see, right? We'll fucking see. But anyways, here is the peat moss. Here's the plastic bucket and the peat moss. So I'm just gonna go in here with this peat moss and fill it up, at least the bottom, like that. So there's no nutrients in here at all, right? And I do need a bigger bucket, so I'm just gonna take this out real quick. Move it to the side, straight there. And now let's mix in some of the old soil that is extremely nutrient dense. Very nutrient dense. Okay. And now that we got that going, this is my first time doing this, so you know, I'm thinking about it as I'm doing it. Yeah, so there we go. Right now I'm like, okay, I know there's a lot of roots. I'm gonna have to dig it out pretty much like that. And I say we just go for it. So here's the plant. There's the root ball right there. I'm gonna dig her nice and deep. And then I'm gonna put the peat moss in here and plant her up nice and well. And we'll do like 2 handfuls of peat and then like a handful of the soil. And we'll just keep mixing it up like that. And try to mix it as even as possible. It's not gonna be the most even because of the way we're doing it. And the plant might definitely be upset from this, you know, no doubt. I hope they live through this, honestly. I really hope they do. But yeah, man, this is what we're doing. This is what I believe is gonna work out. This is what I believe is for the best for these plants at this moment. At least with my current state of growing, how I'm growing, how everything's going. These pots have been drying out every single day, so don't want that to happen anymore. Make sure they get nice and potted in like that. And then we're gonna saturate all of this at the end. But yeah, there's one plant, dude. There we go. Okay, you know, maybe that wasn't so bad. Throw a little bit of that on there, mix it up. So we don't want to get rid of all the nutrients. And yeah, I don't know how this is gonna turn out, Growmies, you know. This is the crazy series. This is the crackhead series, essentially. But there we go. Watermelon emoji. And where's the plant tag for it? There it is. Watermelon emoji. First plant done. So watermelon emoji. Bam. There she goes. She's actually looking pretty damn good. You know, maybe she's starting to get there. But hopefully this helps them go a little bit more and they won't run into an extreme nitrogen issue down the road. So yeah, there it is. Watermelon emoji. Bam. And we will water them at the end. Actually, shit. We're gonna have to add, I'm gonna kind of pack these down a bit. Not too tight. I do want them packed. So that way they retain a little bit more water. And then I'll go ahead and put some soil back up here for our slow release amendments that we have packed in this dry soil. But there we go, man. There's the first one done. So we'll see how they look in the morning. Hopefully good. First plant, on to the next one. So that took about 6 minutes per plant. We got quite a bit of plants to go. Okay, so the method that we're doing is we're scrunching from the bottom. And I kind of broke my thumb, so this fucking hurts. But my left thumb. But that's alright. You know, we'll make it work. So we got this another watermelon emoji. She looks good. Alright, be patient. Keep pushing it out and be patient. Don't rush it and rip it out. You know, we don't want this transplant to go bad. Ooh, trying to help the plant. So here's the root ball. Same thing. I'm gonna go into this bucket right here and I'm gonna wash it out just like that. Dude, that looks kind of cool. Alright, but there's the plant. And she's, you know, she's actually doing pretty damn good, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just need to dial the newts down a little bit. I think a proper transplant is all that we need. So here we go, plastic pot. Let's go over here and let's get our peat moss going. So bam, there's one big one. Break up all the inconsistencies, no big deal. Get some of this soil, mix it up. This will get all the microbes going as well in new medium. Don't want to lose our tag. There's a watermelon emoji. Okay, and now let's grab our root mass. So this one's got a nice little root ball, I think. Just kind of washing away the soil a bit from the roots. Not all of it, but most of it. And here is the root ball for this plant. As you guys can see, that's what she looks like. So we're just gonna put her in here. Might dig this a little deeper because she is kind of, yeah, there we go. And put her in there. Then I'll go ahead, put some soil, fill it up, and more peat moss. And the reason I'm going with all this pure peat moss is, again, lower amount of nutrients on the transplant. We put in way too much nutrients. We're growing way too many leaves, which is apparent by how many leaves there are. And there's just way too much nitrogen. You can see the tip burn all across. And it's also burning the edges of the leaves as well from just the insane amount of organic feed in there. So yeah, a lot of people think you can't burn plants with organic feed. You definitely can, especially when it breaks down all at once. So, dude, I think this is gonna work out damn well, if I'm being honest. I'm not gonna do any training to the plants besides that, like taking off the leaves, because actually I will clean up all this down here. I might as well. So I'm just going through with my fingers, ripping down all these branches and getting all this excess on the bottom off. I'm not gonna go extremely hard on this, just a light one. And then I'll tuck the leaves in as well into the soil, and those roots will just eat them straight up, which is what I love. Wow, she smells dank. She's letting me know she's a dank one. That's for shizzle. Yeah. Alright, Gromies, next plant done. That one we did in 3 minutes, so this might be like a 30-minute episode. But yeah, watermelon emoji, she's looking good. I think this is gonna work out. I'm excited for this method. There's the next one done. Let me get her a little bit more in the center. Might as well, since we just transplanted her. Yeah, there we go. Alright, watermelon emoji, bam. Okay, now let's move on to the next plant. Now, same thing, start from the bottom and push it up. Well, this one's about to come out easy. Maybe not that easy. Just keep pushing, Gromies. Alright, be patient. Push, push, push all around. Keep going. There we go. And I don't want to break off the roots right there. That's a big no-no, because then she's really gonna get sad. So trying to reduce as much stress as possible. Obviously there's quite a bit of stress here, right? But hopefully the new medium will fix a lot of the problems we have. And again, I'm just gonna go in here, remove this inner growth. Oh wow, dang plants, man. At least the soil's making dang plants, that's for sure. And yeah, so you can go in with your hands and break it up like that, which is pretty gentle. But I think it's a little more gentle to just use the water, so I'm just gonna put it in the water. But yeah, wow, this soil does smell really good, I can't lie. It's extreme. This is really good soil, Gromies. Like, this is perfect. The only problem is there's just too much nutrients in it. You can almost see like the newts in it, like compared to how it looks beforehand. So yeah, but on to the next one. You know, leave a comment, Gromies. Do you guys like to see these complete fuck-ups that I've been showing recently on the Raw Uncut series? I'm like, I should have just done a simple way to where a successful 3-2 plant grow that would have been easy. The 3-gallon, 5-gallon pot, basic brand new soil. Like, there's easy ways to do it. I decided to challenge myself once again for unknown reasons. Maybe I like the challenge, I don't know. I do like to learn more every single time, and boy, I've learned a lot. That's for sure. So yeah, we got the root ball. Ultra wet and slimy. That will be good for the transplant. Get those roots going. There we go, just fill her up. And we'll do like a hand. Now, you guys will realize, like, I haven't been the most, like, I'll try to be, alright, but what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to be as consistent as possible with what I'm doing, but I'm not doing it exact every single time, which I would consider that, you know, somewhat of a flaw, I guess you could say. But it's not the biggest deal. Like, I think, more or less, we'll see how it ends up. We're just gonna have to see, man. There's the next one. Bam. And that was Wingsuit, one of my favorites so far. It looks really cool. So there's Wingsuit. And here is the UNCUT F2, man. You know, recently, Gromy, it's just a little story time. I had this nice older lady send me an email saying how she needed help and pain relief. And I suggested these seeds to her and sent her some, so I hope she enjoys them. I hope they help her. I know they helped me. I know they helped my mom, so hopefully they help her. Yeah, right now we're just removing the plant and getting it out. Yo, leave a comment. What are you guys growing right now? What are you guys excited to grow? What are you guys ordering? Like, what's the hype in the Gromies right now? For me personally, I'm actually more excited about the other tent that I'm growing. I know these plants are going to be extremely fire, but on the other tent, we got some insane OGs that are about to happen. So we got the red line, which is a red Lebanese hash plant. Super excited about that. And just a lot of cool. We got Hero Joanna, Obamacare, Obama Kush. We got Purple Urkel. All old school bangers that have just a great effect, great terpenes, great everything, you know? Some people are like, oh, I want to sacrifice for the terps. Hell no, I want the effect as well, and that's what those old school strains do, so I'm excited for that. Big time excited. Yeah, this is just, you know, I hope this documentary, what am I trying to say? But yeah, I hope this documentary encompasses what it's like to grow and experiment and make mistakes and learn and do better and try more and see if you can fix them. You know what I mean? Like, so we're trying to do that. And then here's the root ball. Just gonna stick it in there. Washed off most of the soil, which is what I need to do. And then we'll put some of the normal soil in there. That might be a bit much. And we'll just top it off with the peat. And I think this is gonna help big time, man. All these less amount of nutrients in here. We also have a lot of mushroom compost that broke down, which has made the soil, I think it's helped, honestly, stabilize the soil. The problem is it keeps drying out, so that's a bigger reason I'm going to these plastic pots is, man, I just can't keep up with the workflow. So, there we go. But I will remove some of these uglier lower leaves and vegetation that we don't need, and that'll help signal the plant to grow more above. So yeah, a little bit of defoliation always encourages more growth. So there we go, digging those leaves into the topsoil, and maybe I'll do like another handful, some peat moss. There we go. And then just for the topsoil, I want to add those microbes back in, water them in. Microbes are our best friend in organic growing. You need them, they need you. So use them. And yeah, let's make sure to put the plant tag. This is our UNCUT F2. Bang, there she is. Let me center her just a little bit more. Put her in the center. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Okay, Ozzy Kush F2, bam. And we're also gonna go through every single plant, hand water them to a T, make sure they get the right moisture levels, all that type of thing. So let's see if this method works good. I'm kind of just squeezing the side of the pot, and you guys could see, dude, it's so dry it just crumbles to nothing. Yeah, I don't know if this was the best way to do it. It kind of worked out pretty good. This is our blueberry muffin. You can see how dry that is. The soil just comes right off. And this one, I don't think it needs a water dunk. Seems pretty clean to me. So this lower growth is really dirty. I do want to clean it up, but I also want to take clones. So I'm just going to take them off for now, and there will be more clones. Like, always remember that. You can take clones all the time. So don't worry about the clones. Don't stress about that too much. My mission, my goal right now is something completely different, so I'm not worrying about clones at the moment. But yeah, here's our little blueberry muffin, and let's get her into a plastic pot with less nutrients. Dude, blueberry muffin is one of my favorite plants. I hope this one turns out really good, because I'd love to breed with it. There's nothing better than, you know, breeding cannabis, dude. It's so fun. Especially with the blueberry strains, they just bring the color, the beautiful blueberries, of course, and all that jazz. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'll just make some. So I guess what I'm doing right now is I'm doing like half peat moss, somewhere around there, about a handful of the soil, maybe 2 handfuls of the soil, and then the rest peat moss. So whatever that math turns out to be, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm gonna take some out. Hold on. So I know I just added this peat moss, it's okay. I'm gonna put that right there. Get those roots in there. And these plants are not too far from like making it to where I need them to be. That's the bigger part I need to recognize. You know, I've been really hard on myself, and it hasn't helped myself, I'll tell you that. It's good to be hard on yourself, but don't hurt yourself, you know what I mean? Don't hurt yourself, growmies. It's gonna be okay. It's just plants. But yeah, let's get some more peat moss. That was kind of a lazy way to do it. I'll brush off the plant. We don't want to be lazy. We don't want to be lazy. We want to have good practice and everything. That's something I'm striving to do. At least recognizing, like, hey, don't do that. Like, that's lazy. Or maybe that's not the best method. Like, just work with more care is what I'm trying to say, you know? Try to be more careful. Whatever you put in is what you get out, so make sure you put a lot of work in so you get a lot of greatness out. Yeah, there we go. There's the plant. Give her a little dusting. Center her up a bit. There we go. The classic, godly blueberry muffin. Humboldt's prized possession. Bang. Blueberry muffin. Okay. Now the next plant is the Death Eater. Now Death Eater, she didn't like nitrogen the first grow. She's not liking nitrogen the second grow. Wow. So yeah, that's how that's turning out. I kind of like doing this, just breaking up the soil. Seems like it works. Normally, you know, I wouldn't try to break up the soil at all, but since we're trying to get rid of most of the soil, I kind of have to, you know what I mean? Oh wow, this plant has a good root system. I can feel it. Yeah, there she is. There is the Death Eater. Dude, she's got some nice roots. Look at those roots. Tiny plant, good roots, dude. Really good roots. Let's go in here and clean up all this lower extra growth. These would be good clones, but we're not going to take them yet. We're going to take our clones in a bit. We're going to take our clones before we flip when we're doing our defoliation. This is just a light defoliation right now. Get these plants a little bit more tidy. See, that's a good cloner. I'm going to leave that one. Probably want to take that. Yeah, just getting some leaves in here. Basically everything that's extremely hidden we're getting rid of. And that looks like a decent little plant. So here she blows. Dump the rest of the soil out. Now, the one big problem with using these plastic pots is the fabric pots air prune the plants, meaning that all the roots get pruned and grow more as they reach the edge, so they don't get root bound as fast or really at all. You could grow pretty insanely massive plants in small little fabric pots, but with the plastic pots, these don't really have anywhere to go, so there's going to be a lot more we can't grow as big of a plants is what I'm trying to say. I'm excited to see how this project comes out. Hopefully we don't get root bound. There's a good possibility we might. You might be asking like, damn, this kid's dumb as hell. There's a good chance for roots there's a good chance that these plants are going to get overgrown and they're going to get root bound and blah blah blah, but dude, we'll see when we get there. I don't think it's going to happen. It depends how I grow the plant, right? It all depends how you grow the plant. So I'm going to focus on growing them nice and tidy. Nice tidy little plants. And yeah, that's already looking a lot better, I think. I'm excited to see how they do after I water them, because they haven't had water in a few days. They're all bone dry as hell. So I think they're gonna like it. I gotta make sure I water well so that they don't get burned from this dry peat moss, because the peat moss is not that it's not really moisturized. It's more on the dry side, so we're gonna have to soak all these pots pretty damn well. And yeah, I want them to retain good water. I want them to retain water. That's my goal. I want to be able to I want to be one of those people that's like, oh yeah, I had to wait a whole week to water. Which I probably know won't happen, but we'll see. Alright, on to the next plant. Now, did that one get a plant tag? Okay, we didn't put a plant tag in. Hold on. This was the Ozy Kush F2. Now, where did the plant tag go? There it is. Oh, this is the Death Eater, excuse me. So here we go, Death Eater. Almost forgot the plant tag. Not gonna forget it. Pop it in right there. Bang. Death Eater. Okay. Next plant is the Mystery OZ, which I'm also very excited about. Another CBD, potentially CBG dominant plant. Ultra exciting, very unique. Love this chemotype, very medicinal chemotype. And very potent chemotype. Sometimes CBD plants, you know, they just don't have those effects. It's kind of just, it's all genetics, because there are insanely potent CBD plants that really contend, and a lot of people would even question if they're type 1s because they just hit so strong. So don't neglect the CBDs, man. They're top tier plants. I love them. And actually, I might be leaning a little bit to smoking more CBD style balanced chemotypes instead of mainly high THC hybrids like the market is right now. I don't know if that's for me. I like more of the CBD, I'm not gonna lie. I like the calmness of them. It was very calm. So yeah, we're getting our soil mixed up pretty good in here. I'm like, dude, this is good soil. Like, if I was to grow some big fruits or squash, or if I was to grow like big fruits or big vegetables, this is perfect, man. But since these plants are small, they can't handle all that nutrients right now. And they're getting burned from that amount of nutrients. They don't need to eat that much at all. So we're gonna make sure that they don't eat too much and get burnt, because they can't. Alright, there's some peat moss in there. One decent handful. I'm gonna put the plant in right here. Pretty much just put in the root mass right there. And those roots will take a few, I'm thinking a week or two to get going, you know. Yeah, they're gonna take a week or two to spread out from there and grow and fix themselves. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The roots are doing pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of happy with the roots actually. Looking at them right now. So far, every plant has had a decent little root ball and a good amount of roots all around. So I'm excited, dude. I think it's gonna turn out better than I expected. You know, sometimes groomies, even if it seems stupid, as long as it's not too dumb, trust your intuition, you know? For me, this is what my intuition was telling me. I was like, dude, it's a lot of work though. Like, you're gonna have to go through every single plant. It's gonna be a long video. Is it gonna ruin the plants? And for me, I just see the future of these plants being nutrient burned. So I'm like, dude, it's gonna either get worse later, or it could get worse right now, and then better later. You know what I mean? So that's what we're gonna hopefully try to make it better right now. But there we go. There's our mystery OZ. Mystery Original Zombie Kush. Basically a random pheno. He didn't know what it was, but it was fire, so he sold seeds of it. And that's when we got him. But we're almost getting there, you know? We're pretty much halfway there. Next up is the Platinum OG Punch Breath, which I'm super excited to try. This plant was growing extremely weird and kind of gross, but now she's growing way better, man. Way, way better. So again, we're just breaking up the soil. It's really dry. It's real silty. And we're just kind of dumping it out like that. And there's the root ball right there. You can see it looks pretty good. Not bad. I will go down here and get rid of all this fatness that we don't need. All these little fat leaves down here. And all this growth on the inside. I might just get rid of that fan leaf as well. All these outer ones. And yeah. That's looking pretty decent. Take that off right there. That off right there. And we're doing like basically a baby lollipop. A mini lollipop, you know. Just to get them a little tidier. There we go. And there she is. Alright, groomies, and my camera stopped recording. I don't know what happened. I hope it didn't lose any footage, man. If it did, I'm gonna be so pissed. But I'll have to see when I get back to it. I'm just gonna hope that it got everything, and it did recorded and saved everything that it did record. So at this point, you know, it is what it is. Whatever happens. But man, this watermelon emoji, dude, she smells like a dank ass skunk. She used to smell super sweet, super watermelon. Now she's smelling dank as hell. So shit, I'm excited, dude. This is some pack right here. I can tell you guys right now, it's gonna be some pack. So I'm excited, dude. Shout out to Homegrow TV, dude. I saw him growing it. He posted a little short the other day. Shit looks fire. So I'm glad that I am lucky enough to get these unreleased crazy seeds. But yeah, there's the root ball. And you know, groomies, if you guys are a professional and you've done this, you know, thousands and thousands of times, and you have experience on exactly what I'm doing right now, and you know for sure, like, you're a professional expert, like, let me know, what do you think? Like, does this seem like it's gonna work out? What would you do? How did you fix the problem in your situations? Like, give me some advice. Like, let me know what you guys did. You know, as much as the channel's intent is to teach others, it's also for you guys to teach me, and honestly, you guys have taught me more than I've taught you. So, you know, keep leaving comments, keep telling me what I need to know, and I read every single comment. I care about every single comment. I respond to pretty much every single comment. I love the Grow Me Gang. I love the community. I appreciate all your guys' input every single time, and you know, I take it serious. I really do. So leave a comment, let me know, like, do you guys think it's gonna be fine? And dude, if you're still watching to this point, you're a real Grow Me Gang, dude. Thank you for watching the videos. Holy shit, like, if you're still watching, send me an email. I'll pick a couple people, and I'll send you guys some free seeds. For all the OG, dedicated viewers who literally have been watching the whole time, thank you guys. You know, YouTube watch time is a big metric, and I need the watch time to get my videos promoted. So if you guys are watching the videos, it means you actually like them. So thank you for watching. I appreciate that, and I need you guys. So thank you. But yeah, here we go. I think that should be fine for this one. This watermelon emoji. Worst case scenario, if they are real light, I could just put the soil back or just top dress again a little bit lighter, right? So this is kind of just a rebuffer that we're doing. And man, that is a beautiful plant, Grummies. That is a beautiful little watermelon emoji. Look at that. Don't you guys love that? I do. So yeah, there's the watermelon emoji. And we'll put her in the back because she's a tall girl. I think we need to rearrange the plants. We'll get to that in a second when we're done. We're almost done. We got 2 more plants to go, so pretty much there. So yeah, what's this one? Oh, this is the mountaintop mint. Now, I'm not seeing a plant tag. Dude, she is unruly and nasty. I'm gonna strip her real good. This is the one plant okay, you guys could see right there, I broke that branch. I think I did break my thumb, like I have no strength in it. But we could see, putting her back, taking off the tape, she looks good. Looks like we got a complete healthy recovery. So real excited about that. And she is kind of wide. So I'm just gonna shake off the soil like that. She's got a nice little root ball down there. Okay, but yeah, mountaintop mint. It's been a little bit of a love-hate relationship, not gonna lie. She's been growing very weird. I'm gonna blame it on the soil. It's my fault, you know, I gave her way too much nitrogen. We're not trying to grow leaves, we're trying to grow flowers. So, I know we're in veg, but we're not trying to veg to this level, dude. Like, this is just way too much leaves, and it's very apparent. So right now, I'm going in on the inside and a little bit on the outside. And I'm just removing all this inner leaves. I'm just ripping them off. So it looks like we lost a branch right there from that, so I'm just gonna get rid of the tape, clean it up, and yeah, we're stripping this plant pretty well. To where we get those branches growing up and out, and not all these leaves blocking them, and just doesn't look right, you know what I mean? Just doesn't look right. So we're going in, we're getting rid of all this, and I think she's gonna grow a lot better after this, not gonna lie. Yeah, she definitely will. You can see she's not too happy with her nutrient mix. She's had way too many nutrients. That's why she's made so many leaves. She doesn't, that's the plant's natural response, is if there's way too much nitrogen or a certain amount of nutrient, it grows leaves, or it'll grow a specific way to try to eat up those nutrients, and in the process it hurts itself, but it saves itself in the end, right? I don't know if I said that right, how I wanted to, but I'll probably put a caption. This is what I meant to say. But so I don't repeat myself and stutter over myself, I'm just gonna move on. But yeah, and then also we got some leaves in here that are blocking everything, so any leaves that are blocking things, I'm just gonna get rid of them. Like these leaves, these leaves, these leaves, these big fan leaves. Pretty much every fan leaf that's larger I'm gonna get rid of. This plant has a lot of branch sites and potential bud sites and leaf sites, so let's get rid of some of them. We don't want to get rid of all of them. We want her to stay nice and strong. I think that'll do for right now, dude. That'll do for right now. We got a little clone branch right there if we want to take a clone, but we'll see how she does after that little defoliation. She's got some problem with the tips, you know. She's got some ill looking growth here and there. I know it's not perfect. This grow's been nothing but perfect, so we can't blame her at all. And I don't want to get carried away with taking off the leaves, but man, there's a lot of leaves on this plant, like a lot of leaves. I know I'm pulling off some branches, we're doing some accidental toppings. It's alright. This plant's gonna be a beast, dude. I could tell. And to smell her, she does have a little minty in her, dude. I'm not gonna lie. She's got more of a blue mint instead of a green mint, so it's pretty cool. This is like the blue mint pheno. The last one I got was more like a green mint, so yeah, now we got the blue mint. And yeah, there she is. Okay, but continuing on. Got our plastic pot right here. And we're doing our base layer of the peat moss. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all these leaves back in there. And I've done this before. And if you just mix them up like 1-to-1 leaves, the plants will grow roots all through the leaves and it looks really cool. And it's also just quick available nutrients to the plant. Now, one thing I'm really happy about, especially as an organic soil grower, is, dude, we have not seen a single bug in all of this soil at all. That is a massive accomplishment and achievement, so I'm very happy because, dude, I'm not gonna lie, a couple months ago, I had some problems with pests. Like, there is pests, not aphids or anything, but we had fungus gnats galore. Like, it was, like, bad. So, and we also had some random there was a whole bunch of little random bugs starting to get in there, so glad that we have rectified that situation, and she's looking a lot better now. But I think we'll lift her up a little higher, yeah. So there's 2 scoops of the soil, and we'll go in and get some more peat moss to finish her out. Peat moss on top to finish it out. And I do want to stamp the soil down pretty good. Not really hard, right? But good enough to where I want this to be almost like a little cocoa block. You know what I mean? Except it's a little peat moss block. Except there's soil and nutrients in it, and there's still aeration, and it'll still be fine. Trust me, Growmies. Like, it's not gonna be bad. But yeah, there we go. Now this was our mountaintop mint. She's looking good. The thing is, I don't know where the plant tag is, but I just know it's mountaintop mint. And I could tell by the way she's growing. And also top her off with some soil as well. That way we can get some nutrients and microbes at the top running down into that peat moss. And just spread it out a little bit more even. But there she is. Dude, I'm honestly excited to see how this goes. You know, I was thinking about this. I used to play this. This is a dumb analogy, but it's the only analogy I have. I used to play this game called Rainbow Six Siege, and they had this one season called Operation Health. And Operation Health is when they went in and fixed everything wrong with their game to make it a better game. And that's pretty much what we're doing right now. We're fixing everything that's wrong. We're taking some steps that we need to do to succeed. And we're looking back at the situation and trying to be better. So that's what we're doing. Now, our last plant that we have is my favorite plant. This is the Purest Indica. She has been in this little pot a long time. I'm kind of excited to see what her roots look like. I don't know if it's the best idea to put her in a plastic pot, but dude, we're just gonna do it, okay? We're just gonna do it. You know, it's okay, we chopped the other plant, we didn't take care of it, we killed it. Shit happens, Growmies, you know, that's my fault. I could have had a beauty, I just didn't take care of it, man. Just didn't take care of it. And that's what happens. Okay, let's one step at a time. Let's get her out. There she is. Now this one, should I wash her? I don't know. I do want to get all these off. She got a nice little root system all the way to the edge, as you guys can see. And yeah, I think I will put her in the water and let that soak down. She does need a lot of work. I could even see her soil is different from the other ones. It feels a lot more normal, not as like silty and sandy. So, but we're trying to stay consistent with our grow and see if it works for the other plants, it'll work for this plant too. So, and ideally all this soil should be pretty homogenized. I did it as even as I could beforehand, so it should pretty much all be the same, right, Growmies? And yeah, you could feel the soil on the bottom was a lot more sandy. That one I did months and months and months and months ago on a previous grow, the frozen truffle grow, which, man, I gotta make a video about that. I don't know, man, it didn't turn out the greatest. Like, I really appreciate Relentless Genetics, I believe, or Reverse Genetics, for sending me what he did, but it was alright, man. It was alright. And you know, I think I did speak too soon. I think I just saw the tiniest little bug, but that was only in that pot. All the other ones have been clean. But anyways, let's go ahead and... Alright, but anyways, Growmies, let's finish this out. This is the last one, the Purest Indica. She's going in the plastic pot. And we're gonna fix her up. She also has an insane amount of nitrogen in her too. I think I top dressed her at one point. I did something to where she just has way too much food, man. And that's also a problem with organic nutrients, man, is you don't know when they're gonna break down. Like, they could just break down at any moment. And it's like a hurricane, like an avalanche. It's like an avalanche, man. So, here's this, ooh. That thing's just turning to mud. Let me get a bucket so I can clean these roots a little better. Okay, but let's wash off the majority of the soil and just kind of see how the roots turn out. Let's see. I'm gonna put it over here so you guys can see a little better. Yeah, you guys should be able to see. And we're just kind of, ooh, we need a bigger bucket to do this. This looks really awkward, I could tell on camera. I'm trying to just rinse the soil off and expose the roots. I do this with like my outdoor plants all the time and they do really well, so that's another thing. It's like if it works outside and it works on tomatoes and it works on pepper plants and it works on squash and corn, and I mean, dude, if like most plants are the same, right? Like obviously there's a lot of differences between every single plant and how you grow them, but a lot of techniques carry over, so I try to carry over whatever I find successful, and that's feeling heavy, so I'm just gonna pull it over. It was kind of dirty as well. I broke some roots. That's okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and dump this in here. Okay. Alright, and we're back to the mission at hand, which is the transplant of this pot. Now, I did put quite a hefty amount of peat moss, and since this plant is a little bit more stacked, yeah, I'll probably do something like that. There we go. And then the rest will just be peat moss. And then on top of the peat moss, we'll put a little bit of the natural soil. So I'm gonna go down here and get more of the dry soil and just rub it in on the top for the microbes. And then give her a nice stamp down. And there we go, man. Not bad, you know, not bad. Let me give my hands a little bit of a wash, and then let's do some defoliation on this plant. Alright, and we rinsed our hands, got most of the dirt off of them, so that way we don't get dirt all inside the plant. Now we're just gonna go in here and strip basically all this lower growth that we don't need. Now let's see, how dank is the purest indica smelling right now? She smells really sweet, which is kind of crazy. She almost smells like cilantro. The smells have been changing a lot, I might say, dude. She went from that like real oniony, just like real onion, to more like, I don't know. It is still onion. Dude, it's super onion now. What the heck? It smells like fresh onion, honestly. Yeah. The way it develops is kind of confusing sometimes, but that's the best I can put my nose on for right now. And we're just gonna go in here. I don't know if you guys are seeing any of that, my bad. But yeah, we're just going in here and we're removing all this inner chunky, stacked on top of each other, kind of gross growth. So that way the plant can breathe a lot better and grow better. I'll just take that branch off. I know I could clone it, Gromies. I'm gonna clone later, don't worry. I'm gonna clone it. And let's see, so we got some inner leaves. Let's look at her from above. So looking from above, get a little lower. You can see we got quite a bit of like big fan leaves blocking things, so I'm gonna take them off. Like that one right there, this leaf right there, that leaf right there, this leaf as well. Basically any bigger fan leaves, that way all those inner branch sites along the branch can grow. So yeah, take that one off, take that one off. Let's take off this one, take off that one. Got some big leaves right here doing the same thing on this branch as well. Some lower chunky leaves, that chonker. And yeah, because otherwise, dude, when these leaves grow, and they're just gonna get huge, they're gonna be stacked all over each other, and we don't want that. We want more flower sites, not leaf sites everywhere. So yeah, taking off all these inner lower leaves. And that's kind of heavy on the defoliation. Nah, I think that'll be fine. There we go. She's nice and spread open. We'll see how she grows now. And then also, groomies, we got to keep in mind the mistakes we made before, they're not going to go away, right? We're going to see everything that has been wrong with this grow since the beginning of this grow by the plant's history of its life, showing the leaf health. The older leaves, they don't magically just turn better. They stay how they are or they get worse. So the only way we're going to know if our changes are better is if the new growth is healthy. And then always keep that in mind, groomies, when you're making changes. So look at the new growth, use the old growth as an indicator, but really pay attention to the new growth. Now I'd say this looks, sorry if that wasn't the best angle, this episode is more just about the talking and what I want to say, but there we go, purest indica. But man, there she is. Alright, now that we've made a mess all over the floor, let's check out our plants. So this is what we ended up going with right here. So here's all our plants. Now, at this point, let's put all the tallest ones in the back and the shorter ones in the front. And let's try to orientate them in the best way that they can be. So first up, let's check out this purest indica. So I'm gonna put her kind of like that. I think that seems the best. And next, got a watermelon emoji right there. Looking good. Platinum OG, she's small, she'll go in the front. More of the medium-sized plants. Let's see, this one in the back's kind of short, so we'll do a little switcheroo. Put that one over there. And this plant's a little bit taller as well, so we'll put this one in the wingsuit. I kind of want to top her right there, dude. I think I'm gonna do it, yeah. Just gonna top her right there, bang. And that'll help grow more sides below and not grow up so tall. I really want these plants to be as even as possible, so I'm gonna strip them like that to keep them even. But yeah, there we go, groomies. There's all that. Now it's time to water them, so let's water them in. Okay, groomies, let's just go in here real delicately and let's water each plant very delicately. So first up, we got this wingsuit in the corner. And we just have some pH water. And I'm gonna be very slow, delicate, very slow and delicate. I do need to make sure the entire pot gets evenly saturated from the top to bottom. This peat moss can hold quite a bit of water. So I'm gonna fill it up pretty much like that and then give it time. And then we'll come back to it. And we'll move on to the next plant. So we're just gonna give her a nice light splash on the top, even all throughout, across, just like so. And that'll be for the first water, and we'll see how that does. We'll see how it soaks it up. If we get no runoff, that's a mistake. We need to have some sort of runoff, especially right now. That's the only way we know that the water got to the bottom and evenly moisturized everything. So if we don't get runoff, we're gonna have to come back until we get some slight runoff for every single plant. Now the reason we're going through slow on every single plant is because that might take some time. This is a new medium, it's soaking up a lot of water. It's gonna take time for the water to get to the bottom, so we'll see how it turns out. Okay, next plant's over here. I might have missed the water on that one, I'm sorry. I think you can see this one, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go in, soak the top, fill it to the brim like that. That should be good. Next plant. If you guys are wondering why the soil is brown, it's because there's some soil in it, which is okay. You know, it's not a bad. That's not a big deal. It's okay. Some free nutrients, dude. A little soil tea, you know. Okay, and yeah, we're just gonna keep on watering. Dude, if you guys have made it this far, I don't know what this is gonna be. Maybe like an hour-long episode out of everything I've done for these plants. Leave a comment. I need to see how many people watch to this point, because I just want to know if you guys care about what I'm saying. You know, if you guys don't care, you know, I'm not gonna make them like this. But if you do care, let me know. Alright. And we're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep on going. So here's this plant right here. And the cool thing about these plastic pots is they do have drainage holes on the bottom. So all the excess water will run out and greatly reduce the chances of overwatering. Since I live in the desert and it's been dry as hell and hot as hell, probably one of the most brutal summers probably the brutalest summer of my whole life. I think it'll be okay with the water that we've been giving them. Obviously it hasn't been enough, so the plastic should fix that though. So that's why we're going. Another reason for the plastic, like I've mentioned before. Okay, let's get those plants in the back. Pretty sure you guys can see if I do it from here. And it's a little harder to be more gentle with the plants in the back. And let me just move this one. There we go. Move that plant. That one got overfilled a little bit too much soil, but that's okay. I figured a lot of it would pack down, which is why I filled them so high. Because I figured after the first water they'll keep settling. And then that'll be a good time for us to add more nutrients if we have to. The one thing I will say is I hope we don't get a magnesium deficiency, which I could see happening. But we just gotta hope it doesn't happen. And yeah, so we need more water at this point. Let's get another bucket. Alright, and we're back with the final buckets of water, Dromies. The final buckets. So far, I'm not seeing runoff on any of the plants. So I might have to do a little more. I'm gonna pick them up and feel the weight of them. See how much most of them are weighing so I can get a metric and an understanding of the soil and water retention at this moment. But yeah. Seems like they're holding on to most of the water. It's not really getting to the bottom, but we are lightly watering right now, so I'm gonna go in, flood each pot again very quickly, but still as gentle as possible. And this will just ensure that all the soil on the bottom gets moisturized evenly as well, and there's no dry pockets, which is very bad. Dry pockets cause nutrient burn, soil, or cause root burn, and it shows on the leaves bad. So don't want to overwater, or don't want to underwater, excuse me. Don't want to overwater either. Yeah, there we go. Seems like we're finally starting to get some runoff, so that second little bowl seems like the perfect amount. Yeah, and I think it is. And it's starting to run off, so there we go. I will go through the tops and just even out the soil again. Also pull off any leaves. I probably should have defoliated a little bit heavier, but I'm not sure how the plants are going to do from this, right? Like, I've been putting these plants through hell at this point, so if any leaves I got on there, I need that plant to hold on to them and use them as nutrients and build itself back to where it was beforehand, so that's the goal. But right now I'm just going through and I'm evening out the topsoil from the water, getting it nice and even, flat, and just packing it down a little bit more, man. I've always erred on the side of caution of having an extremely aerated soil, which is a good thing. But I remember like one of my blueberry muffin grows, I kind of packed the soil a little bit tighter, and I got some really good results with the roots growing very dense. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to find the level of density that I can push to where the plants are happy and the roots are happy and everything's happy. Obviously the lighter aeration is always great, but it runs out of water quicker, so if I can get these plants to hold a little bit more water, that's the goal. And that's looking pretty good. It's our mountaintop mint. We'll have to make a tag for her. Yeah, right now we're just doing some, you know, this classic gardening stuff, man. Okay, I did want to say I'm gonna take that clone, I'm just gonna get rid of it. I'll just stick it in like that. Go ahead and knead it up. That'd be funny if it rooted and came back up. But you probably definitely could do that. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of runoff on the bottom. This is perfect, Gromie. This is perfect. Perfect amount of runoff. Just some on the bottom. Nothing too crazy. And we're packing them down. Nice and even. We got room to top dress, got room to add more soil, got room to do everything we want to do. Okay. And yeah, these pots aren't even super filled. Like I could feel, they're gonna settle quite a bit more. But we'll let that happen naturally with gravity and water, and the roots just building it themselves. That stability. But here's this watermelon emoji. She's looking fantastico, man. She's beautiful. This is the dankest plant in the tent right now. This is the best plant in the tent right now. She's also very resilient. I have to say 100%. Dude, this is going to be a good clone. I can't wait to share this clone. Yeah, dude, she's going to impress. That's for sure. She's already impressive. So, that'd be insane if I got like one of the best phenos watermelon emoji. I hope I do. I only got 3 seeds, so low chance to find something insanely good, but who knows? We might do it. Might get lucky. The genetic gods might bless us. And yeah, dude, I think they're good. We're still gonna pick them up and do like an average weight, see how they're feeling. Make sure the moisture has gone through evenly from top to bottom. Sometimes you could feel when it's just like only been moisturized on the bottom or only moisturized on the top, just by the weight distribution. So we're gonna check the weight distribution and see how it's turning out. See, this one packed down a lot. We barely packed down this soil, so which is okay. Gives us more room later to add more soil, which is exactly what I want. And it's good for the roots to grow dense like that. Worst case, man, if they do get root bound, just put them in the fabric pots again. So, yeah. But since they're tiny babies, start them in plastic, dude. Way easier. I like growing in plastic pots, I'm not gonna lie. I realized all my best plants, except for one time, my best plants grow in plastic pots because the roots are just more stable. It doesn't dry out fast. Okay, but there we go. We reduced a lot of the nutrients by amending with an insane, by removing a lot of our soil and re-amending with just peat moss in plastic pots. So we'll see how the plants do. Thank you guys for sticking with me throughout this whole series. It's been a crazy one, it's been a tough one. Most important thing is we're not giving up no matter what. So we're not giving up on this grow. We're working hard to try to fix it. Hopefully the nitrogen toxicity goes away now that we're just in peat moss and a little bit of soil, like literally just a tiny bit of soil. I would expect these plants to show a little bit of deficiency, which is okay. I'd rather lean on the side of lighter than heavier because I can always add more. But just like that, you know, you can't take away unless you literally take out the soil and redo other soil. So yeah, there we go, Growmies. There's the raw uncut series. Well, I'm gonna check on the plants in the morning and see how they acclimate about 12 hours from now. And yeah, they're either gonna be a lot more green, they're gonna be sadder, they're gonna be something. These plants react pretty damn fast and very quickly, so we'll see. But anyways, Growmies, as always, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment. If you haven't seen my other episodes, check those out. Keep it up out there, Growmies, and stay motivated in this beautiful, medicinal hobby. #GrowMeGang.